together again. On the day we are together again, I will pull you in close like a hoop with no end. On the day we are together again, we will share the same table again. We will share the same table again. I will pass you the salt, the candlelight will bend when we share the same table again. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will stop for a snack at the taco truck stand when we walk around the block hand in hand. Someday we will go back to work. Someday we will go back to work. May we be among people who respect our work. Someday we will go back to work. I will write you a letter for now. I will write you a letter for now. Hope is a message that survives somehow. I will write you a letter for now. I will help the strangers I meet. I will help the strangers I meet. It is possible to get back on our feet. I will help the strangers I meet. To the healers who keep us alive. To the healers who keep us alive. A toast to your courage, knowledge and light. To the healers who keep us alive. And the ones we love who are gone. And the ones we love who are gone. We remember the stories and we sing the songs for the ones we love who are gone. And on the day we are together.
Well, hello again. It's good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate it. We are going over a very sad situation. A very, very sad situation. What is it? What about it? Something going on? Oh, what is this song called? I think it's called On the Day We Are Together Again. Link is in the description. It says credit. Hello, Red Web. Good to see you. Going to be covering Deputies Greg, McCowan, and Shelby Eggers' body camera of a evil man by the name of Kenneth DeHart. A traffic stop out of Blount County, Tennessee. I want to warn you that this is a very serious serious. Serious. Where life and death happens in the same video. Hey Trev, good to see you. Trev is local to this. First, before we start the body cam, I want to give you the night that the presser. It's not very long at all. Not very long at all. But they're clearly upset. And then we're going to get started on the actual night. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button, please.
Y'all ready? Okay, ready. Okay, I'm Sheriff James Lee Barong. And I'm very blessed to be sheriff for 35 years in this county. My friends behind me, they've had officers and they've stood up here before you before. I haven't. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. We had officers killed tonight on a traffic stop. Another female officer was shot in the leg. She returned fire. We're actively looking for the suspect. And we'll release his name, the information that you would help us disseminate. Blount County, the mayor has initiated a $10,000 reward. He's armed and dangerous.
Oh, sorry. Probably
And
notifications did
we
not
have
go
our
out.
Local friends or state friends and our federal friends here with us. And I want to thank each and every one of the law enforcement agencies behind me standing with me. Without them, I don't know what we would do. But with them, we're going to resolve this. We're going to give this gentleman, that's the wrong word to say. We're going to I can't say that word either. We're going to get this man off the streets of East Tennessee and put him behind bars. Our Attorney General, Ryan Desmond, has filed a warrant, first-degree murder, with no bond. That's already been filed. The TBI is working the case, the scene of the shooting. The other agencies are assisting me as far as answering calls, part of the active investigation. I greatly appreciate them. I'm so sorry that we've lost a young man. I talked to his family earlier. I apologize for not protecting him. We'll release this information that we have, and we'll get back with you. It'll be tomorrow probably. But thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting on us, and thank you for disseminating this. And please keep his family, the young lady that was shot in the leg, her family, and the Blount County Sheriff's Office employees in your prayers. Thank you.
We'll have all the information for you as far as the deputies' names and the situation that went on. So that'll all be given to you in hard copy. So thank you all for coming.
All right.
We do have the picture of the officer that was killed in the line of duty tonight. Deputy Greg McCowan. And as the sheriff mentioned, we will provide you with a simple statement from him at this time and come back at a later date and time to meet again. But again, our effort is on getting our suspect in custody. And if you want to submit those.
Thank y'all.
All right, y'all. So now we are going to go to that body footage. There is one officer in the beginning. Just bear with me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to. I'm just trying to get some information about another upcoming live we're getting here. So the first part of the video is Deputy Shelby Eggers, who does the initial pulls Kenneth DeHart over. That is the initial stop. And she calls Deputy Greg McCowan as her backup because she can smell a plant-based substance in his car. And he refuses to get out of the vehicle. And he requested a dog. And she said we didn't have. This was a regular traffic stop. And he refuses to get out. So they tase him. And then he shoots them both. Without further ado.
And for her to initiate a traffic stop.
This is the sheriff kind of narrating the very first. This is Tennessee, Blount County, Tennessee. Right next to Hawkins County.
first contact, you'll see.
Hello. Sorry, I'm all right. Can we pull up in this driveway right here? All right, I'll see you there. Hold on just a second, I'll talk to you. Pulling out of the roadway. Never mind, we're still on the roadway. Do me a favor, brother. Pull into the driveway. That way we're all the way out of the road. Okay?
Hey, guidance. I just put it in the chat a minute ago in group. So
335. We pulled into 49, 59. All right, my friend. Now that we're out of the way there. That's all right. My name's Shelby. I work for the County Sheriff's Office. I stopped you not because you were all over the road.
Oh, sorry, I didn't notice.
Okay.
I just put my hair up.
Put your hair up?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had anything to drink or anything?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm really just leaving suburban.
Okay.
as you can see, it starts out very routinely, very,
Just got back
everything's
from,
good.
Got work Pittman.
Cool.
Just got a phone with my son. I said, son, you should have came home because he hurt his knee real bad, GP game. And I literally just got the phone with him.
Okay. Did you go to the game?
Yeah, we literally just got done.
Okay.
They're still there. I literally can show you. I just got the phone with my son.
I believe you. Where you headed to tonight?
On the way home.
Where you live at?
Alcoa.
Okay. Okay. You care to see your driver's license, registration, proof, insurance, please? All right, thank you.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't think I was worried.
Yeah, well, you went across the line just a little bit. I thought, well, you know, maybe.
I would just put my hair up. I'm sorry, I just put my hair up.
I got you. Yeah, you were like, you were all the way completely in the other lane.
I called my mailman and said, "Now, Mom, I'm not gonna make it tonight. I gotta go get clothes. Like, I'm just dealing with a lot. I promise I didn't do nothing. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Sorry you're going through some stuff.
I know it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I literally just got from my son, talked to the guy painting. I sent you a picture of, the lights that he sent me.
Okay.
That I literally just got a phone with him.
Okay, good deal.
Rob Paint Mom's house, he just sent it in.
I got you.
I called him back, but I'm on Bluetooth.
Okay. You're good. Do you have your registration insurance?
Yeah, I'm in my mema's car. I'm in her car. My truck is in her house. I'll show you what I just done so you can know what I'm doing. I ain't lying. I just left to take a video.
Yeah, I'm comfortable. I got you.
Just take a video right
Yeah, I
there.
got you,
Just
bro.
paint. This is a real one. Literally just jumped in her car.
Mhm.
Saw her video of her house.
I got you.
Just got them getting painted.
Yeah, I
I
got you.
literally just left. I
Okay.
don't go to bed.
Okay.
Is this it?
Close enough for registration. What about your insurance? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll let you call her. I'm gonna check this out and I'll come back up here and talk to you about the insurance when we figure it out, okay?
She's calling Deputy McCowan now to see where he's at to come back her up.
Hey, so and he was in the opposite lane on Seville Road. Pretty sure he, but I think it's weed, I don't think it's alcohol.
Okay, how far is Sugar Road are you?
4951, I'm right here next to Destiny Lane.
Destiny, a little bit better. Are you this side of 13 or that side?
What side are you on?
I'm
The trailer side?
at the hospital.
I'm up here, past out Canada towards out of town, towards Burton Station.
Okay.
If you pass Alfred, come on past Alfred McCann, you'll see the lights.
Okay, I'm on my way.
All right, thanks, brother, I appreciate it.
You will?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no recall, you check my office here, please. How'd you figure that paperwork out, brother? Oh, okay.
Go ahead and tell them.
You got the card there?
I got
A bunch of them?
They're all former.
Okay, I got you.
You said, go ahead, Mama. Go ahead.
Hey.
You can hear his grandmother's
My name's
on the
Shelby. I
phone.
work for the Blount County Sheriff's Office. Nice to hear you. I'd say nice to meet you, but we're not next to each other.
So this isn't his vehicle. This is the grandmother's vehicle. And he doesn't have the proper insurance card or the up-to-date one. It's a very common thing. A lot of times people forget to put it in their car or whatever. It caused the grandmother. She doesn't make that big of a deal out of it. She's like, you've got a bunch of other insurance cards there, so I'm sure that you've, got insurance on this. Everything is kosher until he is asked to get out of the car.
She says she works with Bluff County.
Hey, I don't think I do, man.
She works.
Okay, I got you. Oh, I understand. We're all right here next to each other. I get it. But yeah, just all the ones. Okay. Well, I'll just look through and see anything else about it. I'm gonna leave this half with you. I'll take this one. Yeah, that's okay. I understand. It happens. It doesn't come back with the tag. A lot of times it will come back with the tag. It didn't come back with the tag. That's the only reason I'm asking for it. There's that half. There's the other ones.
The insurance, it's okay. I don't know. I just put my hair up and she said I swear, so I'm sorry.
Here you go. Let's see this. See what we can figure out.
She said, you got the time, I ain't no time. Run my hair and down.
Yeah. How many kids you got, bro?
5.
5. That's too many.
I just left my 15-year-old game. He wanted to stay and watch the varsity.
Yeah.
And he had surgery in the morning. I just had surgery on my knee.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's not good.
I just literally just called him out to tell her that
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be able to bring her clothes tonight. I'll bring them in the morning.
I got you.
I don't know. I guess I just hand her all this stuff.
That's okay. I'm not too worried about it. I got you. You got like 15 insurance cards.
Yeah,
So you're good.
perfectly fine though. I'm really just going home.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take a shower and lay down. I'm not going no.
I got you. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I am gonna have you step out, hang out with me. So I smoke weed in the car. You ever smoke weed in this car? Okay.
Now, Deputy Greg McCowan's getting ready to pull up here.
You don't smoke nothing? Has anybody ever smoked in the car? Okay. I got you. Okay. Well, smell it, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you step out and hang out with you, okay? My partner's gonna be here, we'll search as long as everything's good, I'll let you know.
Don't do me like that now.
Okay. Don't do you like what?
She's trying to say she smells weed. And I'm like, you know I don't smoke weed. Nobody I know smoke weed.
Okay. I didn't accuse you of smoking weed.
Backpacks and smoke. We really just
Okay. Okay.
Exactly. It's been a liver.
Okay.
Like it's me, man. My own black, and they just being messy.
And they got nothing like, they got nothing to do with that, bro.
I guarantee you what a dog man is for. I don't on the store. So I'm sit right here.
Our dogs don't get like hit on weed, and there's not a dog coming out here. It's me and my partner.
Well, I'm refusing to.
No, there's no refusing. So when I smell, the odor of marijuana, I have trouble across the surface. There's no refusing.
There's no weed. Go get your partner, tell him to come arrest him.
Okay, my partner is not a dog. My partner's a person. That's on the way. Okay, that's fine. You can't refuse to search.
What can I refuse to serve?
Because I've got probable cause to search the vehicle because of the smell.
Nobody ain't trying to be messy for no reason.
I'm not trying to be messy with you, brother. I'm trying to make this easy, okay?
I'm just refusing to serve. I love you, Mama. Yes, ma'am.
What's going on?
I don't know why they're doing this, ma'am. I just trying to go home. I literally just left your house. I literally just took a video so I can show you everything that everybody did with the paint and everything in the toilets, and they just pulled me over for no reason. They see my fucking hair put up. I'm black with dreads, and they pulling this mess for no
It
reason.
ain't got nothing to do with that, brother. I couldn't see when I pulled you over.
Nobody smokes weed. I don't smoke weed.
Okay.
I've never been around weed.
Okay, I didn't say you did. I didn't say that you smoked weed. I said it smells like weed in here. I didn't say you did. Okay.
Listen, if you are not if you don't want them to search your car, you're hiding something, in my opinion. People who have nothing to hide nothing.
Go ahead and step out from me, Kenneth.
I'm not stepping out. I'm refusing to search.
Okay, you're refusing to step out of the vehicle?
I'm refusing to search.
Okay, so step out of the vehicle. Step out of the vehicle. Come back there and stand with me. I don't want to get out of
I
Just
just
step
get
out.
out. Just get out.
He's just
I don't have a
whining.
dog. I don't have a dog to get, okay? And if I had a dog, it doesn't hit on weed, I'm telling you. Okay, I didn't say you did, brother.
Okay, you're not.
I said it smells like weed in your car. I have probable cause to search the car. Can you step out
I'm
from me?
not.
Step out from me, Kenny.
All right. Deputy Greg's about to pull up here shortly.
Baby, the police got me pulled over. They threatened me to get out the car. I'm not getting out the car.
Kenny, just get out the car, man. I'm not trying to make this difficult.
I'm making it difficult.
I'm not making it difficult. I'm
She's
not
waiting
being
for
racist.
backup,
I'm asking-
Doctor.
I don't have a dog, sir.
These folks I don't smoke weed.
Okay, I didn't say you smoked weed.
Nobody said you smoked
I
weed.
never, Kenny, I never accused you of smoking weed.
You said I gotta get out this car. I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
refusing.
Yeah, I am saying you have to get out of the car.
I'm refusing.
You can't refuse to search. I have
I
probable cause to
can't
search.
because I
the
have a dog. You can't
No.
just say you smell weed.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Thank you, Amy, so much for gifting one membership. If you was the one that received that membership, please thank our sweet Amy. So you have the right to say you don't want to be searched. That is true. That is a constitutional right. However, if they can smell what is a scent of they think is a scent of marijuana or alcohol or any other substance, or a dog hits on that car, then they have probable cause to search your car. Then they, whether you refuse or not, you're getting your car searched. which is what she is saying. She smells what she associates with a smokable substance. That gave her probable cause to search Kenneth DeHart's car. He thinks he can just refuse. He can refuse, but after she can smell it or a dog hits, she can visually see, that is when probable cause is issued. And then he has to comply with the officer. Regardless of whether you think an officer is right or wrong, your personal opinion, even if the officer is wrong, you 100% comply always. And if you think the officer is wrong, that is when you file a complaint afterwards. You never, ever, ever go against the officer. Always comply with law enforcement, with what they say. Again, it's you should absolutely know your rights. He thought he knew his rights. He apparently didn't know the other half, or completely didn't give a damn. But you always, 1000%, always comply with the police. Always. If you think you are wronged in any way, you take up with them at the next day. You go to the office or ask for a supervisor. If there is you ask for the supervisor on duty. Okay.
How the law works, Kenny. That's how the law works, bro.
I'm down here on some little road, baby. Like, this is not right, man. I'm really not doing nothing wrong on any.
You're on the wrong side of the road, brother.
Baby.
You're on the wrong side of the road. That's why I stopped you.
I ain't doing nothing wrong.
Kenny, man.
Damn it. Tracy, thank you so much for becoming a member. I think you may have renewed your memberships. Either way, thank you so very much for your support on this channel. I cannot thank you enough.
How soon you get out of the car, brother?
I'm getting out. I'm not getting out the car.
All you have to do is step out single. I don't have the dog to get, brother.
They just gave me a ticket and said, I don't smoke.
I don't have a dog to get here, okay? I don't have a dog to search a car. I do not have a dog. I can't help you there. I'd like to have a dog. I don't have a dog.
I'm on some river road, baby. Just come down some river road like 10 minutes.
I just need you to step out of the car, Kenny.
I'm refusing, sir.
Okay, so here's what's gonna happen if you don't step out of the car. We're gonna have to drag you out of the car, and then you're gonna go to jail. So you can either step out of the car, or I can pull you out of the car. You can step out of the car, or I'm pulling you out of the car.
She asked you to get out of the car.
Get out of the car, brother.
Y'all said it smell like weed. I need you to get a dog, please.
No, we don't have to have a dog.
Get a dog.
It smells like weed, brother.
No
Get out of the car.
marijuana in this
Okay.
car.
I'm gonna tell you one more time, Kenny. Get out of the car.
I can't, man.
You
I'm
can't?
recording this.
Okay,
I'm
you can
telling you
record
right
it.
now.
That's fine. I'm recording too. I recorded this whole interaction. You want to get out
I'm
of the
not
car?
doing nothing wrong.
You were on the wrong side of the road, Kenny.
I was not on the wrong side
You
of the
drove on the
road.
wrong side of the road, brother. Get out of the car.
Side of the road.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
I'm not, don't touch my car.
Yeah, of course.
No, you can't do that.
Get out of the car.
You can't do this, man. You can't do this. Get your hands off of me, man. Please. Please get your hands off of me, please. Please. Get out of the car. I'm asking you to please. I'm not doing nothing.
You see, he is not complying with a lawful command. Whenever police, even if you, like I said, even if you disagree, you ask the police, is that a lawful command? If you need to. If you are disagreeing, the only thing you ever say is that a lawful command? And they will say yes or no if you disagree. And if they say yes, comply. Absolutely comply.
Hey, now,
Please, I'm not doing nothing wrong.
Get out of the car.
Please, don't listen to my phone. Please, now. I'm not doing nothing wrong.
Get out the
Why are y'all doing this to me, man? Why are you doing this to me?
Get out of the car, man.
I'm not doing nothing
Get out of the car,
wrong.
Kenny.
This is not my car. I'm not doing
I
nothing
didn't say it was
wrong.
your car. Get out of the car, Kenny. Go ahead, please. Out of the car.
Get out of the car. Forward.
They're chasing him.
Get out of the car.
Get out of here and do nothing. Get out. Please don't do this to me.
Trigger, trigger, trigger.
Please, Kenny.
Please. Please stop doing this.
Shots fired on here. 334 hit.
So, as you can see there, Officer Greg McCowan is down on the ground. I believe he is hit in his head. And Officer Shelby Eggers, she is hit in the leg. She returns fire. Now, Kenneth DeHart, whenever he closes the door, he said, "I told y'all, mother, to leave me alone." He opens the door once more and he shoots again. Putting a tourniquet on her leg.
Help! Help! I'm being shot! I'm shot! Help! 335. 344's down. I'm hit. Suspect slain. Back towards House River Road. I'm being shot. I need your help. Yes, get out. I need your help.
So bystanders are helping out, assisting Deputy Shelby Eggers. And another one, as you see here, is looking at Deputy Greg, checking on him. Greg is injured to a point of, unfortunately, he was almost instantaneously gone.
I gotta get this one hit my partner. Help me twist this, please. Twist it really tight. Twist it again. Oh my God. Okay.
Yes. Kenneth DeHart fired, closed the door or opened the door, fired once or twice more, and then left.
Twist it again. Twist it as hard as you can, okay?
I got you.
That's good. Put it in the thing.
It's there.
Okay. Oh my God. 345. I got to turn to the plug. I was trying to get my 324. So the suspect's going. I know. He went that way. I'm gonna go that way. I don't even remember. Oh, are you okay? Look, he's running away. You need to sit down. Give me my knock. You need to sit down. I need to get, yeah. You need to sit down. You need to sit down. You need to sit down. 335 is
That vehicle is going to be a 2011 blue R5 Lexus.
Where's the number?
Ricky.
Come on in, please. 335. The turn to the plug, 344's down. I can't get to him.
You're not ready?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not kidding.
See you now.
It's not your other places in the leg. That's all I feel.
That's the firm we're getting on the sidewalk.
I think we need to let some part of this.
We have channel 2 open, channel 2 is now open.
306, how far out are you?
I hear a sign.
I hear.
335, I think I'm about to go unconscious. 344's down, I can't get to him.
We're coming, Shelby, hold on.
Okay.
306 going to open up channel 2 for everybody else. Get that vehicle description out on channel 2.
I'm right here, I'm okay. I'm okay, take care of Greg, take care of Greg, God. Take care of Greg.
Come on.
I can't, brother, I can't.
Come on, help me get in the car. Get in the car.
Your car?
Get in my car. If you get a time now.
Unfortunately, where Deputy Greg was, the injury was, there was nothing that could be done that quick, unfortunately. So senseless. The motherfucker should have got out of his car.
All right, where are you trying?
I think that's the wrong one. It's the wrong way. It's fine, right here. Sorry, I think it's just one.
Bring on and go quick.
It's gonna hurt.
I know. Oh my God.
I got something. I'm getting hurt a lot, though.
Previous traffic, so we line around to altered medical status patient, 1225 Detroit, we order now.
Okay. Now, when they do, when we look at cop cams, they always play each officer's view. So the first view that we had was Deputy Shelby's view. Now we're going to see Deputy Greg McCowan's view from his body cam.
I don't smoke marijuana.
You can either step out of the
I
car.
don't, can you please?
You can step out the car.
No, sir.
You will get out of the car.
That's racism, man.
This lady says, I don't care what color you're doing. She got your lawful command.
I don't smoke marijuana.
She asked you, she asked you to get out of the car.
Get out of the car.
I said it smell like weed. I need you to get a dog, please.
No, we don't have to have it all.
Get a dog.
It
There
smells
has
like weed,
been
brother.
no
Get out of the car.
marijuana in this
Okay.
car.
I'm gonna say it one more time. Can you get out of the car?
I can't, ma'am.
You
I'm
can't?
recording this.
Okay,
I'm
you can
telling you
record
right
it.
now.
That's fine. I'm recording too. I recorded this whole interaction. Go ahead and get
No,
out
I'm
of the
not
car.
doing nothing wrong.
You were on the wrong side of the road,
I
Ken.
was not on the wrong side of
You
the
drove on the
road.
wrong side of the road,
I
brother.
was
Get
on
out
the
of the
wrong
car.
side of the road.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
I'm not, no.
You're not going to jail for refusing.
No, you can't do that. You
You're not
can't do
going
that. You can't do this, man. You can't do this. Get your hands off of me, man. Please. Please get your hands off of me, please. Please.
Get out of the car. Get your ass out of the car.
I'm not doing nothing wrong.
Out of the car.
Now,
Please, I'm not doing nothing wrong.
Get out of the car.
Please, can I get some
No.
help?
no,
Please.
Now.
out of the car.
I'm not doing nothing wrong.
Get out of the
Why are
car.
y'all doing this to me, man? Why are you doing this to me?
Get out of the car, man.
I'm not doing nothing
Get out of the car,
wrong.
Kenny.
This is not my car. I'm not doing nothing
I didn't say it was
wrong.
your car. Get out of the car, Kenny. Go ahead, Kenny. Out of the car.
Get out of the car. Please report. Get out of the car,
I
dude.
didn't do nothing. Please don't do this to me, please. Please. Please.
You're about to get it again.
Stop it. Stop my man. Oh, my
Get out.
I'm just gonna say,
You're getting it again. Oh, God.
Stephen, stop the video.
Now, what I want you, the chief right here is going to say he's going to replay something, and it is chilling to say the least. Comply first, ask later. If in someone just wrote in a moment ago, Deputy Greg McCowan, he said she gave you a lawful command. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. And watch this.
The last shot you heard, he opened his door and shot him again. And I hope you got the verbal he said twice when he's exiting. Replay that one more time, Stephen.
Listen to this closely. Did you hear that? You hear what he said? Absolutely horrible. He opened his door again and he and he fired one more bullet into Deputy Greg McCowan, who was already on the ground. Yes, I told you, mother. Here we go. Listen very closely. A lot of people are saying they can't hear it. Right after he pew-pews. Absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. There is something that I do want to show y'all. Deputy Eggers testifies. And it's not long. It's very powerful, though. The officer. I mean, I can hear it without earbuds, even. One second. I need to put it in my bio real quick before I play it. He was caught, yes. You're going to hear Deputy Eggers, who is the female, take the stand here.
Shelby Eggers.
Here she comes. She's very young. She's like 20 some years old. This happened, yeah, about 3 weeks ago. February 2024. She's very new. 22. Thank you.
Promise to our affirmative testimony, give the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. It's being recorded, so scoot up close, speak loud. Go ahead.
Morning. Will you state your name, please?
Shelby Eggers.
See how
And
he
will you
gave him a
spell your
look?
last name for the record?
Because he's in there.
Eggers.
Thank you. And where are you employed?
The Blount County Sheriff's Office.
And what is your current position at the Blount County Sheriff's Office?
Deputy Sheriff is on patrol
And how long have you been with the Sheriff's Office?
almost 5 years.
Have you held positions with the Sheriff's Office prior to going to patrol?
Yes, sir.
What are those?
I worked in the jail. I worked adult correction.
When did you transition from corrections to patrol?
Sorry, I was muted. So here is the mother who did it. Right here. Right here. That's the real mother.
Patrol.
In August of 2022.
And did you have to undergo certain training in order to make that transition to patrol?
Yes, sir.
What was that?
I went through the patrol academy with the post academy.
And how long is that?
It's 13 weeks.
And when did you start that and finish that?
I began it, I believe it was August 15th of 2022. I graduated at November 4th of 2022.
And just in general, not specifically, what all does the academy cover?
Essentially everything that you need to be a post-certified police officer in the state of Tennessee.
Now, once you completed the academy, do they just immediately release you on patrol by yourself, or is there additional training involved?
No, sir, I had to go through 14 weeks of field training with a field training officer.
And what does that entail, just briefly?
Basic patrol duties, responding to calls, traffic stops, welfare checks, property checks, things of that nature.
And did you successfully complete that?
Yes, sir.
Since getting out on your own patrol and completing that, have you had any additional training that you've undergone regarding, your patrol activities?
Yes, sir. I attend 40 hours of in-service every year. I recently completed a class called ICAT. It's essentially a version of CIT, which is crisis intervention training.
Now, Deputy Eggers, when you're on patrol, just in general, what are your job duties and responsibilities while you're on duty?
I respond to calls for service in my assigned zone or assigned zones. I do regular patrol on the streets, whether that's traffic enforcement, talking to people, things of that nature.
Now, are there different shifts that you all work while on patrol here at the Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir. So we have a first, second, and third shift. We work 10-hour shifts. First shift is scheduled from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Evening shift, which is my assigned shift, is scheduled from 3 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Those defense attorneys, I can't imagine having to defend him if they're appointed, which I'm sure they are, but can't imagine.
a.m. and night shift comes in at 8 p.m. and stays until 6 a.m.
Okay, thank you. And you mentioned zones. What are zones? How does that work with patrol?
So we have 4 zones in Blount County. Blount County is split up basically in 4 quadrants. Zones 1 and 2 are the south end zones of the county, and zones 3 and 4 are the north end zones of the county.
And while you're on patrol, is there a way you all handle backup, or how is backup handled if you need additional officers or assistance while you're on patrol?
So our supervisors make our lineup and they assign us to a specific zone or set of zones. It's different every day. I don't work the same zone every day. We'll have deputies assigned to each zone, and then we'll also have a county backup north, which covers the north end, zones 3 and 4, as I mentioned just earlier, and a county backup south that covers zones 1 and 2, as I mentioned earlier. We also sometimes have county-wide backup, which will be backup for the entire county.
Thank you. And if I could now please direct your attention to Thursday, February the 8th of 2024. Were you on duty on that date?
Yes, sir.
And I assume you were working, as you said, evening shift, second shift?
Yes, sir.
And did you have an assigned zone that day?
Yes, sir. I was assigned to County Zone 3.
And just in general, where is zone 3?
Seymour, Eagleton, Rockford, that area.
Okay. And what was your backup situation on that night, February the 8th?
So with it being a Thursday, we had more people there than normal. Those are training days for our specialty units. So I actually had a partner assigned to Zone 3 with me, Deputy Amanda Fritz. We had a county backup north, and I cannot recall who that was. And then we had 2 county-wide backups who were Deputy Greg McCowan and Deputy Noah.
While you're on duty on February the 8th, did you have reason to conduct a traffic stop on Sevierville Road?
Yes, sir.
And what type of vehicle was it that you stopped?
It was a silver Lexus SUV.
And do you know where on Sevierville Road this traffic stop occurred?
Occurred in the 4900 block in between Eagle Road and Destiny Lane.
And is that located in Blount County, Tennessee?
Yes, sir.
And do you know the approximate time of the traffic stop?
Around 2000 hours or 8 p.m.
8 p.m. And what was it that caused you to stop that vehicle? Did you observe or see anything?
Yes, so I came up behind the vehicle. I first observed the vehicle swerving inside its lane, so it didn't cross the double yellow or the fog line. It was kind of just going back and forth. Then I observed the vehicle go left of center over the double yellow line just a little bit. It did that for a moment, and then I observed the vehicle go all the way left of the center line to where the driver's side front tire was almost touching the white fog line on the opposite side of the road.
And is it that at that time that you activated your emergency lights?
Yes,
Okay. And did the vehicle stop?
yes,
Where is it that it stopped initially?
in the center of its lane on Sevierville Road.
And is that an ideal place for a traffic stop?
No, sir.
Why is that?
It's not safe for me or the person I've stopped. We can get rear-ended from behind by a car. I can get hit by a car out talking to them. So it's not an ideal location or safe location.
So what did you do when the vehicle stopped in the middle of the road?
I walked up to the driver's side window and I introduced myself to the driver as Shelby and told him that I worked for the Blount County Sheriff's Office and that I was going to ask him to pull into the driveway, which was just forward and to the left of where he stopped in the road.
And did he do that initially?
Sort of, he pulled up, but he pulled horizontally across the driveway that I'd asked him to pull into, stopped in the yard, and the vehicle was still partially, it was kind of sitting on the fog line, but my vehicle was still all the way in the road.
So what did you do then?
I reapproached the vehicle again, spoke to the driver and asked him to pull into the driveway, which was in front of the driveway that I formerly asked him to pull into, and told him to pull in like he was going to the house.
And did he do so?
Yes,
And that driveway is still located in Blount County, I believe?
yes,
At that point in time, did you approach the vehicle and have a more in-depth conversation with the driver?
yes.
How many people were in that vehicle?
Just one?
Just one. And the driver of that vehicle, do you know who that was?
Yes. It was the defendant, Kenny Devil.
Could you please identify him here today?
Yes, he's sitting in front.
Right.
Reflect witnesses identified in the film.
Thank you. What did you do? Did you tell the defendant why you had stopped him?
Yes, sir.
What did you tell him?
I told him, I introduced myself again and I let him know that I'd stopped him because he was all over the roadway.
All right. Now, to be fair, had you ever met the defendant, Mr. DeHart, before this day?
No, sir.
Did you have any prior knowledge whatsoever of the defendant before this interaction?
No, sir.
What did the defendant say in response when you told him why he had been stopped?
He told me that he didn't realize that he had swerved. He had been pulling his hair back and he may have swerved in that, but he was so sorry he didn't realize that he had swerved.
Okay. Did you ask the defendant for his license, registration, proof of insurance, that sort of thing?
Yes.
And was he able to provide those?
Yes, he was able to retrieve his wallet from the floor, pull his driver's license out of his wallet. We were having a conversation, but he continually was talking. So he was distracted a bit and it took him a moment to find the vehicle registration.
Did that seem at all at odd to you or indicate anything to you or anything like
I noticed
that?
He was maybe upset or nervous about something because he was continually talking. He did not stop talking from the time that I approached the window to the time that everything happened.
All right. So you took his driver's license, correct?
Yes, sir, and he
Did-
handed me the vehicle registration.
All right. Did you notice anything else or sense anything else at that time that caused you concern?
I observed the odor of marijuana at the driver's side window.
All right. So based on that, you've got his driver's license. Where do you go from there?
I go back to my vehicle so that I can check his driver's license status and see if he has any active warrants in any of our local counties.
And was his license valid?
His license was valid. He did not have any active warrants.
All right. What do you do while you're in the vehicle at this time?
I made a phone call to Deputy McCowan. We had already spoken back and forth over the radio, and I knew he was on his way to me. I called him on the phone just to give him a little bit more information of what I was dealing with. I let him know that I thought that I had an impaired driver and that I was possibly going to be doing SFSTs or standardized field sobriety tests with the driver.
So from an investigatory purpose, you're going to extend this traffic stop for what reasons based on your interaction with the defendant?
In order to determine whether the defendant was safe to operate a motor vehicle on a public roadway and to search the vehicle because of the odor.
All right, thank you. Did you eventually return to the vehicle and make contact with the defendant again?
Yes.
Now, how did you approach the vehicle this second time?
The second time I made a passenger side approach, it gave me a bit more of a tactical advantage. My eyebrows were kind of raised based off of his, he seemed to be nervous. So I made a passenger side approach as kind of an element of surprise.
At this point, are you yelling at the defendant or anything like that?
No, sir.
All right. Did you tell the defendant sort of what your plan was from an investigation standpoint?
Yes, sir.
What did you tell him?
I let him know that I needed him to step out of the vehicle in order for me to search it, and I let him know also that I had probable cause to search it due to the odor of marijuana.
And how did he respond to that?
He was not very happy about it. He became more defiant, I guess defensive.
All right. And at this point in time, is he on the phone with anyone that you could tell?
Yes, he was on the phone with, I believe, his grandmother.
All right. And what conversation, did you have conversation with the grandmother?
I did originally. The grandmother and I and the defendant talked back and forth about the insurance. He was searching for the proof of insurance and the insurance cards. And she was the owner of the vehicle, so she was reassuring me over the phone. She did have insurance, and she must have just not put the new card in there. So we talked about that, and then I also explained to her why I needed the defendant to step out of the vehicle.
And let me ask you, so was it pretty common for you to have asked Deputy McCowan to join you at this traffic stop? Would that be out of the ordinary at all?
No, typically, anytime a deputy makes a traffic stop, it's not necessarily that we have to ask for backup. We work with each other well enough to know that if somebody makes a traffic stop, somebody is going to try to back them up. Whoever's closest will come to them just as a measure of caution.
All right. So were you able to convince the defendant to exit the vehicle voluntarily?
No, sir.
Did you continue to request him to do so?
Yes, sir.
And how did that conversation go?
I continued to kind of plead with him and ask him to get out of the vehicle. And I also let him know eventually, after talking to him for a few minutes, that if he did not willingly step out of the vehicle, that I was going to have to forcibly remove him from the vehicle.
All right. Let me ask you this: how big in your mind was the defendant? You know, how would you describe him?
I couldn't tell his height because he was seated in the vehicle, but probably 2 or 3 times my size. He's a bigger guy.
Yeah. Did Deputy McCowan eventually arrive on scene?
Yes.
And where did he park?
He parked his cruiser almost parallel to mine, next to mine.
And how did he approach the vehicle of the defendant where you were talking with him at?
He made a driver's side approach.
All right. And what did you do as Deputy McCowan approached the driver's side?
After the Deputy McCowan began speaking with the defendant, I walked in between the defendant's car and my patrol vehicle and stood next to Deputy McCowan, sort of towards the B panel of the vehicle.
And what is your conversation with the defendant like at this point?
I continually ask him to get out of the vehicle. I tell him this is his last chance. He's going to have to step out of the vehicle or I'm going to have to pull him out. And then we opened the door and I attempted to get his seatbelt off.
So what is your first plan of action regarding removing him from the vehicle?
I plan to go hands-on. If I can use that approach, I like to. So my plan was to put my arm up sort of right about here. I guess it's easy to put this on, right about here so that I could hold him back from folding over the seatbelt and then reach across and unbuckle him to pull him out of the vehicle.
And were you able to successfully do that?
No, sir.
And why not?
He was able to grab a hold of my forearms and we just kind of tussled.
So he fought you off from unbuckling him, basically?
Yes.
All right. So now that the use of hands approach has failed, what is the next approach you all decide to take?
Deputy McCowan draws his taser.
And is there additional conversation with the defendant at this time?
Yes, I informed the defendant that he did not step out of the vehicle. He was in the case.
And how did he respond to that?
He was not willing to step out of the vehicle.
All right. And eventually,
Can you imagine facing all of this at 22 years old? That's a lot. That's a lot.
did you observe that taser being deployed?
Yes.
What happened when the taser was deployed?
So
Your brain is not technically fully even developed until
in
you're
the
at least
tasers
25.
we have 2 sets of probes. 2 probes are deployed when the taser is fired. So Deputy McCowan deployed his taser. 2 probes were deployed, and Mr. DeHart was able to pull those probes out by the wires.
So it was a bad contact upon initial deployment?
Yes.
All right. What occurred after the bad contact?
As soon as they were pulled out, essentially as soon as Deputy McCowan fired the taser, the probes were pulled out by Mr. DeHart. And then Deputy McCowan fired his second set of probes, and they made a good contact.
All right. And in conjunction with the second set of probes contacting the defendant, was the defendant doing anything?
He walked up on us.
Okay. And so you have a good contact. So the taser is now effective. What is your plan as far as extracting the defendant from the vehicle?
So I still have to remove his seatbelt at some point so that I can pull him out of the vehicle.
So what did you do?
So while the taser was being deployed and he was incapacitated, I forgot to add that I believe Mr. DeHart shut the door after the first bad contact with the taser. The door was shut. When I went in, I still had to get his seatbelt off, get him out. So I opened the door while the taser was being deployed, reached in to grab the seatbelt, and I got wrapped up in the wire. So I got tased as well, and I was fully incapacitated.
So you were feeling the effects of the taser as well as Mr. DeHart. All right. Once, how long does a taser typically go for?
5 seconds.
All right. Once that 5 seconds was up, what did you do?
I stepped away from the vehicle to kind of gather my composure and catch my breath. And Deputy McCowan continued to deal with it.
All right. Did Deputy McCowan eventually reposition himself?
As soon as I stepped back from the vehicle, Deputy McCowan repositioned himself to where he was sort of standing diagonally facing the defendant. He was, his body was sort of next to the driver's side mirror.
And did something occur at that point in time?
Yes,
What was that?
I was shot and so was Deputy McCowan.
Did you see what had happened?
I was on the ground. All I heard was the gunshots. I didn't ever see the gun being pulled out.
All right. Do you know, where were you shot?
In the leg.
And what was going through your mind at this time?
I didn't know where I had been shot in the leg. I just felt pain in my right thigh. I knew it was somewhere in my thigh. I fell to the ground immediately, and everything kind of moved slow motion. I couldn't get myself up, and I thought, I took a breath, and I accepted death because I thought he was going to fire at me again. He had an advantage over.
That's chilling. She accepted death.
Me. He could have shot me back in the head. I thought he was.
Were you eventually able to get back on your feet?
Yes.
All right. Where was the defendant when you were doing this?
He was still in the driver's side of the vehicle.
Once you got back on your feet, where did you go?
I ran behind Deputy McCowan's car and drew my service weapon.
All right. Is he still the car motionless at this point, or has he started to move?
I believe he had started to move when I was at the back of the vehicle pulling my gun out, and he drove around a tree in the yard and drove through the yard to exit.
All right. And what did you do as he's pulling around? Is he driving back towards you at this point?
He wasn't driving. Well, he was driving back towards my direction, but not at me.
Okay.
He was driving back towards Seville Road, going towards kind of diagonally towards Seville Road, and ended up turning right to go back towards Maryville. But
What did you do as he was passing you?
I moved up to the front of Deputy McCowan's vehicle so I could have a good vantage point. I fired 3 rounds from my service weapon, and he turned right on the Seville Road the way we were facing. He turned right on the Seville Road, and I still had my gun out, but I knew that I couldn't shoot anymore because I had a line of cars and I didn't know if it was any more dangerous.
So you fired the 3 as he's heading towards the Seville Road, but chose not to shoot additional rounds because there's other traffic there, basically.
Right.
All right. Deputy, was your cruiser equipped with a dash cam video?
Yes.
And were you likewise equipped with a body-worn camera?
Yes.
And do you know if Deputy McCowan's cruiser was equipped with a dash cam video?
Yes.
And do you know if he was equipped with a body-worn camera?
Yes.
And have you previously reviewed all 4 of those videos?
Yes, sir.
And do those videos fairly and accurately represent the events that occurred that night?
Yes.
Karen, at this time, I'm going to ask to play those videos.
Yeah, this gets to that.
Your Honor, I would ask that this collection of videos be entered as exhibit number 4, please.
the videos playing, they said really got to her, like really got to her naturally. I mean, you're essentially reliving that every time you hear, you know, Deputy Greg's voice, you hear your own voice, and when you hear Kenneth DeHart's voice.
Deputy Eggers, how many
Talk
times
about
were you shot?
PTSD.
And how many exit wounds did you have from that shot?
I have 3 wounds. I have an entrance wound towards my right knee and 2 exit wounds on the outside of my upper right thigh.
Deputy Eggers, thank you. Pass the witness.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm Matt.
Here comes the defense. Here comes the defense. Here comes the defense.
Garner of the Public Defender's Office. Mr. Elrod and I have been appointed to represent Mr. DeHart. I know these are disturbing questions. I'm simply trying to find out the details of various things that happened. Some of my questions may seem a little foolish, but I'm legally blind and I can't always tell from the films what happened, and I can't drive. So some of these questions relate to that. Where were you headed that night on Sevierville Road?
I was headed back towards town. It was actually close to evening shift dinner break, so I was going to go get something to eat.
So you were just on a routine patrol.
Yes, sir.
What brought your attention to the vehicle that Mr. DeHart was driving?
The way he was driving.
Can you describe it for us, please?
Yes, so the videos of this example, but I witnessed the vehicle swerving within its lane, and then I witnessed the vehicle go left of center just a little bit, and then after a few minutes of it going back and forth doing that, I witnessed the vehicle go all the way to the opposite side of the road where the driver's side tire was close to the fog line on the opposite side of the road.
Was there other traffic around at that time?
Yes, sir, little cars coming the opposite direction.
So was his driving endangering other people in your opinion or not?
Yes, sir.
I take it you have been trained in stops for driving under the influence.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us some of the signs of a person's driving that indicates he might be driving under the influence?
Going slower than usual, maybe under the speed limit, not being able to maintain their lane.
So at that point, you decided to stop this vehicle. Why?
Because of him going left of center.
Okay. At that point, did you think he might be intoxicated, or were you simply worried that he was endangering other drivers and violating the law? Okay. So when you came up to him, we could see it on the video, but one thing we can't tell is you said on the video more than once that you smelled marijuana coming from somewhere in the vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Could you tell if that smell aroma was coming from Mr. DeHart or simply the vehicle in general?
No, sir. Just, it could have been from Mr. DeHart or the vehicle in general.
But you didn't know.
No, sir.
But how strong was the odor?
Strong enough for me to notice it.
You've already testified that you have been trained in DUI arrests. What signs on a person are there that they've been intoxicated?
You can tell a lot by the eyes most of the time. I don't tell very much from Mr. DeHart's eyes. To be honest, I wasn't focused on his eyes. I was focused on his hands, his movements, things of that nature. But their behavior, the way they act, the way they speak. Sometimes if they're under the influence of some type of depressant, they're going to speak slower, have slurred speech. However, Mr. DeHart seemed very excited. He seemed nervous about something and was immediately pretty defensive.
So you couldn't tell anything from his eyes. And you couldn't tell anything from his complexion, obviously, and that's one of the things you look at, isn't it?
His complexion,
Yeah,
or maybe if his cheeks are flushed.
if it's flushed, but you can't tell Mr. DeHart because he's so dark, I take it. You'd never seen Mr. DeHart before, so I take it you couldn't tell one way or the other if his speech was slurred. At what point during that video did you decide that he was probably under the influence?
You don't care.
As soon as, not the first contact that I had with him, but after we got the vehicles positioned safely, when I began to talk to him, I thought that he may be impaired. Just off of the way he was acting, he was very erratic, very excited about something.
Okay, so based upon the smell of marijuana, the erratic driving, and the nervous, excited way that he was behaving, you thought at that point he might be under the influence.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the regular thing that you do when you determine a driver's under the influence?
I try to talk to them, ask them, where they've been, where they're coming from, if they've had anything to drink, any impairing drugs, anything like that. I like to be straightforward about that because a lot of times people will be honest. Another thing is pulling the person out of the car to perform standardized field sobriety tests.
Did you form an opinion as to whether Mr. DeHart was being honest with you when you were talking with him when he was inside the car?
I didn't have an opinion of whether he was being honest with me or not.
But you did think he might be under the influence?
Yes, sir.
So it was your intention that he get out of the car so that he undergo like the one leg stand and the walk and turn and those standardized field sobriety tests.
She's a good girl.
Is that right?
She's a good girl.
And he refused to do that.
Yes, sir.
I think she is a great example for a 22-year-old young woman in today's world. My opinion.
It looked like that you continued to interact with Mr. DeHart for what, 4 or 5 minutes, maybe until Officer McCowan arrived?
Yes.
Now, can you explain to me how a taser works, what it is, and how you operate it and what it does?
So the simplest explanation I can give you is there are probes. There are 2 probes fired out the end of the taser. Those probes make contact with wherever they hit on your body with Mr. DeHart. It was chest, stomach area. And there are wires connected to those probes that send electric signals through the wires into the person's body. And it has different effects on some people than others. For me, personally, it completely incapacitates me. It incapacitates me and it hurts. It hurts. It feels like your muscles are trying to jump out of your body is the way that I would describe it.
So basically, it's a gun-like thing that shoots these wires with the probes on the end.
Yes, it's a less lethal device.
Right. And if I could tell right from the video, that was used twice,
3 times.
3 times. All right. What happened after the first use of the taser?
So when the taser probes when the first set of probes was fired from Deputy McCowan's taser, Mr. DeHart was able to grab the wires and pull the wires out, so it did not have an effect on him. However, Deputy McCowan fired his second set of probes from his taser, which made contact with him and successfully incapacitated Mr. DeHart.
And Mr. DeHart was wearing a seatbelt, correct?
Yes,
So you couldn't just pull him out without having to undo the belt.
correct.
Okay. So what happened after the third deployment of the taser?
So during the second deployment of the taser, I attempted to get inside the car and take Mr. DeHart's seatbelt off of him so that I could pull him out while he was incapacitated so he wouldn't be fighting against me. And I got wrapped, my arm got wrapped up in the taser wire, and so I was as well incapacitated.
Right, so the taser had to be deployed again.
Yes,
All right. After you got incapacitated, if I understood your testimony correctly, you went from the side of Mr. DeHart's car over to Deputy McCowan's car. Is that right?
I was I was right next to Mr. DeHart, like our legs would be touching, I was right in front of him. And once the 5-second cycle of the taser was over, the one where I was incapacitated as well, I took a step back and I stepped sort of behind Deputy McCowan. He was standing facing the driver and he repositioned himself to where he was facing the driver diagonally and his body would sort of be in line with the driver's side mirror.
So he was kind of in front of Mr. McCowan toward the front of the car beside the mirror.
Yes.
Is that right?
Mr. DeHart was still in the vehicle.
Okay, and where were you at that point?
I was, I would say in line with the B pillar, but I'd step back a couple of feet because I stepped back to regain my composure so that I could get back in.
So you would have been, what, 8 or 10 feet away maybe, or something like that?
Probably not even that far, maybe 4 to 5. I don't know, 4 to 5 feet from the vehicle.
I understand you're just making an estimate, and this happened very fast. And did you see Mr. DeHart pull his gun out?
No, sir. I heard the gunshots and I was immediately on the ground.
So you don't know, you had not seen the gun before,
No.
and
I
you
did
don't
not
know
see
where,
the gun in the vehicle.
you didn't know where it came from?
No. It came from inside the vehicle, but I don't know where in the vehicle it came from.
Do you know how many shots were fired? I heard several in a very short period of time. It sounded like 3. Does that sound right to you, or is that not right?
I believe it was 5.
Okay. Do you know which shot hit you?
And the last thing he said was, "I told you, mother," twice.
The first.
The very first shot, right? Do you know which shot hit Deputy McGowan, or were you able to see?
Was not able to see. I believe it was the second one, but I did not see on scene.
So, I mean, I take it, a shot like that, if it hits you in the knee, you just fall down totally unable to see anything else, basically. Is that right?
Yeah, when I got hit, my body kind of turned where my back was facing the vehicle, so I kind of turned and fell to the ground. So my back was to everything happening.
I guess it's been a year or 2 ago, I fell and tore up the tendon in my knee, and I just remember being on the ground and not able to see or think about much of anything except what had happened to me. So did you actually see much of anything happen from then on?
I heard everything happening. I was eventually able to gain my composure, get back on my feet, and do as I was trained to do. I could not see.
He's very, very
everything
traumatized
happening
from this.
behind me.
Very, very
I ran
traumatized.
in behind Deputy McCowan's vehicle, and then I was able to see everything going on.
But, and at that point off, Deputy McGowan was on the ground.
Yes,
So you talked to your partner. Was your partner still in the car during all of this? Didn't you say you were riding with somebody?
no, when I was saying my partner in the video, I was referring to Deputy McCowan.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry. So you called dispatch and they sent someone and let's see.
Bad. I don't know if you could ever be the same.
For what it's worth, Deputy, I had no further questions, but I thought you handled a difficult situation very well.
Look at that mother right there. Look at him. You're gonna pull your hair back because you got a dread sticking up.
No redirect. No redirect, Your Honor.
All right. Step down, back outside.
He was very respectful to Deputy Shelby. I think you had a very difficult situation. That's his attorney. That's his attorney. And the final thing, hold on, let me just see what if she looks at him on the way out. 1 second, I just want to see something. Bless her heart. Yeah, you're going to take those dreads off soon, aren't you? This came out 2 hours ago. Hundreds turn out for Blount County's Deputy McCowan's tribute ride. Blount County, Tennessee. Since the Blount County community was devastated by the loss of Deputy Greg McCowan and the injury of Deputy Shelby Eggers, they have been rallying together to show their support for the families. The sheriff's office said to each other, quote, "It's just amazing. I don't know how many thousands of people are here, but it's huge. It's Sunday, and I guess we're having church here," end quote, said Ed Mitchell, the mayor of Blount County. What originally started as a memorial Jeep ride for McCowan's became an all-inclusive tribute ride with hundreds of people from East Tennessee gathering to show their support for his family on Sunday. Quote, the deputies, I mean, all of law enforcement, first responders, they need to have the support of the community, especially in times like now, end quote, said Michelle Cinnamon, a resident from Blaine, Tennessee. Knoxville police officer dies after collapsing during training. The ride started as Pellissippi State Community College took Highway 321 past the Blount County Jail Justice Center and ended just past McCowan's final resting place. Just proud to be a supporter of the community, and we live in such an awesome community, said Kimberly Bohlen, a member of the Jeep riding community.
Tribute ride with hundreds of people from East Tennessee gathering to show their support for his family.
The deputies, I mean, all our law enforcement, first responders, everyone, they need to have the support of the community, and especially in times like now.
Proud to be a supporter of the community, and we live in an awesome community.
This is absolutely amazing. I hate why we're here, but my gosh, what a blessing that this many people have come out to honor our police officers. It's just amazing.
This happened today, by the way. So it was, it's a reason, hate the cause of why everyone is together, but so blessed that there is a strong community. Eagle 8 might be heading that way. Okay, hold on. There's something going on. Trucks at the landfill again. So, okay. All right. Well, that is that. I did want to bring that to you guys. So I just want to thank you all for being here. Truly, thank you for being here. If any news breaks on Elijah, we will be live. There's nothing really going on right now, to be quite honest with you. Other than they are back at the dump. They're back at the dump. And that's all. That's all that it is at the moment. They are still looking for him. I will be live tomorrow morning, and we'll be covering the news ahead. So thank you all for being here with me. I may be live later tonight. We'll just see on my other channel, Clutch Them Pearls. So make sure you're subbed up to that. Thank you all, and God bless our people, men and women, our troops, and in blue, and all first responders for that matter. Good night, and God bless you.